Yeah, we're live. All right. Cool. Hello, world of the internet. It's my first time on the internet. No. Welcome everyone. So we are going to hop right into this game here because I want to see it played. So I'm just being selfish. So we're going to give this right over to Kat, as you can see, as MC Asmodia. We will give it right over to her so that we can get on with this. It's all you.
Good evening, my children of the night. This is MC Asmodia guiding you through our first game of Monsterhearts, where everybody's a teenage monster in trouble, who are finding out new things about themselves, both as people and as monsters. And really, what's the difference between the two? This game was created by Avery Adler, who has made many other fine games. I'd highly advise checking out their work. This is actually my second game by them that I've run, the first one being Dream Askew, which is a post-apocalyptic queer story. It's a ton of fun. Highly recommended. Tonight we have 4 players, and I'm going to introduce them, but unlike usual on Time to Tabletop, we're not introducing their characters yet because we don't know who their characters are. We're going to find that out tonight in the creation process. So first, after a long absence, but we're very happy to have them back, it's Kelsa.
Hello, I'm Kelsa, and I play role-playing games on the internet. It's been a hot minute since I've been a guest on Time to Tabletop, but I miss you all, so I'm excited to be here.
Yay! And we've got Christina.
Hello.
If you know anything about us, you know that we tend to make this a disaster. We're going to try to keep it like out of X-rated territory. Hey, remember everybody.
I will be behaving myself this evening.
Okay, we have Nick.
Yep. Hello again.
And not being the MC or the DM, it's Michael. We all love very much.
Oh, thank you. Very, very good to be in the player position right now.
So, really quickly with Monsterhearts, there's 4 guiding rules. Number 1, you want to make each character's life not boring. So that's to say, put them in danger. You know, like you could just like be a straight A student and do your homework and never get in trouble. But that's kind of against the point of this. Like, get in trouble, do the the thing, as they say in The Legend of Korra. You want to keep the story feral, so don't overthink, don't overplan. It's sort of what that's all about. Don't try to dictate what all the other players do, which is, I think, my worst habit as a player of role-playing games is I will get into a position where I'm like, I'm the leader and I'll tell you all what to do now. Don't do that. Don't be like how Kat normally plays. Do what the rules demand. So no matter what the dice are, you know, let them fall. If you fail. Like, so much of this game is about failure. That's one of the ways you get XP. So embrace it. And say what honesty demands. So do what's like true to the situation. And that's kind of it. Basically think about it as all, this is a conversation. Your character might have secrets, and that's fine, but don't keep it as a secret from the MC or your fellow players. Trust your fellow players to understand that, yes, your character has secrets, and they're not going to act on them unless your character actually reveals them, but it's more interesting for us to also know about them. This is all conversation between each other, so keep everybody in the loop. And that's sort of the 4 guiding principles of this game. There are several safety tools that are implied, used in this because we are playing hormonal teenage monsters. You might say or express something that makes somebody uncomfortable. If so, please X card. You know, obviously holding up a card on this medium doesn't really work out that well, but you can just do one of these. You know, and monitor each other, because occasionally I'm going to have my eyes off the screen, but if we get one of these going on, we know, like, hey, back off. Like, this is going too far. All right? Because there might be situations where it's cool to push yourself. And in fact, like, that's part of the point, like, to push and to explore. But sometimes you're going to go into an area where somebody's uncomfortable. And I guess kind of in the spirit of this, are there any topics that for any of you are kind of too much, like in regards to violence, or even like say like I just don't like spiders, please don't throw spiders in here. If not, like we'll just move on. Okay, great. So we're going to go through our options of where we're playing, and then we're going to figure out who your characters are. Yay! So let's look at what the options are for all of this. So there are basically these pre-generated scenarios called small towns. Our first scenario is a town called All's Well, where buildings and sections of streets are slowly falling into a horrible sinkhole. Why is this happening? Who knows? You know, what kind of dangers are coming up because of this? It takes place in British Columbia, like in the northern part, so like basically up in Alaska, or very nearly. Then we have Forbearance, which is a dot-com boom town haunted by digital monsters, a scenario I'm sure familiar to anybody in or adjacent to the Bay Area. Horror San Francisco. Let's see. We've got Los Ranchos, a southwestern desert divided by race and class. So, you know, there's a lot of bad. The monsters in that game are not so much monsters as, you know, alt-right. You're not playing the alt-right people, but they are there. So that's the scariest thing of that scenario. There's Purgatory High, where you're dead. There's and you know, it's high school in the afterlife. There's Sindale, which is a mining town where the dead refuse to rest. So, you know, it's like one of those towns in Arizona that kind of used to be a boom town, but isn't so much anymore. But there's still a lot of people around. There's Springfield, which is Ohio. Your monsters in Ohio. So, if you want to play like Midwestern, oh my gosh, I want to get out of here, monsters in Ohio. There's Springfield. And then there's the Summer Folk, which takes place on the Jersey Shore, in one of those infinite time loops that they keep talking about on the internets. So, out of those scenarios, does anybody have one that's like exceptionally exciting to them?
Both the first one and the last one really spoke to me, All's Well and Time Loops.
Yeah.
I already forgot what it was called, even though you said
it's called the Summer Folk.
Summer Folk, yes. Yeah, those are the two that speak to me personally, but they're all good. So I'm flexible, is what I'm saying.
I do want to note that the Summer Folk does have a hollow in it, Michael.
Hey,
Yes.
Jersey Shore Hollow, I like it.
I could do the time loop.
You want?
Could be interesting. I do like Sindale as well.
I liked Sindel or Purgatory High.
I think Sindale was my number 3, so that is a good one too.
Sindale is cool.
Yeah.
I also like Sindale. Is there a hollow in that one?
There
I-
isn't a hollow in that one, but I'm willing to let you swap out the mortal for the hollow.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
Because the mortal in that one is described as a naively hopeful transfer student who has no idea what this town has been through.
That's true.
So we could easily swap out the mortal for the hollow, I think, if people are cool with that. So there, with these scenarios, there are suggested skins.
Gotcha.
So if you guys want to do Sindale, let's do Sindale.
Sure.
Also, I think partially because the last thing I ran... Uh-oh. Oh no, my teeth are falling out.
Oh no!
The last
like
thing I
that
ran on
dream
this channel was also a time loop, so...
I was saying the teeth are falling out. It's like that dream I always have.
Uh-oh. So I'm gonna print out the current page now that I know that we're all cool with Sindale.
Sure. Let's do it.
I gotta say, adjusting fake fangs with fake nails is not the easiest thing in the world to do. In case anybody's ever wanting to do what I'm doing.
I aspire to be like you, Kat.
At any rate, okay, so Sindale. I'm gonna read the background, and then I'm gonna have each of you read the skin. Since we're replacing the mortal with the hollow, and Christina, I believe that you very much want to play the queen.
I did have my eyes set a bit on the queen.
Okay. So I'm going to have, basically every playbook has like a little italicized bit of text that you'll see. So I'm going to have you guys read that off after I read off the background section about Sindale, which is actually written by Avery Alder. So there you go. And I think I said Avery Adler at the beginning of this. It's Avery Alder, everybody. So if I said the name wrong, I'm sorry. Sindale, population 10,000, Western Shoshone Territory. Yep. Okay, Sindale, Nevada was a bustling mining town for generations, nestled in the base of the Ruby Mountains just west of Secret Peak. It's a few hours' drive to any major city, which is to say, probably Reno. When there was work, it was steady. Lots of men rolled into town alone, penniless but strong and willing. Many of them built homes there during the hopeful post-war economy. Now, all 3 dig sites are inactive. The elders tell strange stories about the Southeast Tunnel, though it's hard to give their words much credence. What is known for sure, though, is that in the late 60s, a great tragedy fell upon the town of Sindale. It's not clear exactly how many people died when the tunnel collapsed, because most of the people who were alive back then refused to talk about it. Definitely more than a few, probably more than a dozen. At this point, 2 generations have lived through widespread unemployment and a sense of despondency. A lot of the old miners have turned bitter and mean. Oh, good, I get to play bitter, mean old miners. There has been no sense of justice. There have always been stories, but lately it seems there are more of them. Baneful whistling coming from deep inside the tunnels, gurgling from the tailing pond. Dead miners shambling through the night fog, talking without sound, pointing towards nothing at all. Apparitions, faucets running red with blood. Or maybe it's just rust. It's probably just rust. Still, there's something rotten in Sindale. Are you willing to dig deeper? So, the skins to include in this one are the Queen, the Ghost, the Infernal, the Vampire, and the Mortal. I am allowing a swap out for the Mortal to the Hollow, because Michael already kind of had his character that he wanted to do, and I think that the premise of the Mortal to the Hollow is okay. So, first of all, let's describe the Queen. So, Christina, why don't you go ahead and read the italicized text on the Queen's sheet? Do you see where that is?
Yeah. So under my picture, under the picture here.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen. You're one of the special ones. A sovereign beauty. You deserve more than the rest of this wretched world does. You deserve the will and worship of those around you. And it's not only because you're better than them, it's because you make them better, stronger, more beautiful, complete. They'd be nothing without you.
Nice. And just so you know about the Queen in this particular adventure, your family owns the mine and is responsible for the great tragedy that occurred there decades ago. You've got wealth and you've been groomed for power. What will your legacy be? So you are that girl. You know what girl I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. That was kind of my whole idea.
Okay. So, Michael, I'd like you to read the italicized text for the Hollow, since you've also kind of picked beforehand what you were hoping to do.
All right, sounds good. The Hollow. They set out to make something from nothing. It's not clear whether they succeeded or not. See, it turns out that a lot of gray area between something and nothing. You're alive, but you're not real. You don't have a soul. You don't have childhood memories because you don't have a childhood. You don't have parents. You have makers. And those makers forgot to give you a place in the world.
Okay. And for the skin, we're basically reskinning the mortal. A naively hopeful transfer student who has no idea what the town has been through. So who's cute around here?
Yeah, I think that makes sense for a character who was literally born yesterday.
So we also have the ghost, the infernal, and the vampire. Nick and Kelsa, do either of you have any interest in any of those three?
I would say the Infernal sounds fun to run around with. So.
Sure. So would you like to read the italic text on the infernal?
Sure. So, the Infernal. At first it seemed innocent. It gave you things, made you feel good about yourself. You came to it with your problems, and it fixed them. When you asked how you could return the favor, it told you to be patient. That all debts would be settled in due time. That was the first time you heard it mention debts. You got Satan on as your corner man. There we go. That's the word. Or a demon in your brain, or maybe the stars glow just for you. Regardless, you owe a debt to something much bigger and scarier than you'll ever be.
Nice. So the Infernal's tie in this story is, you found something eldritch and alien submerged in the recesses of the abandoned southeast tunnel of the mind. What is it capable of, and why did the miners never retrieve it? So you found some weird color out of space stuff down in the mine, and it's messing with you.
Fun
So think
stuff.
about that as we move into the character creation. So Kelsa, the ghost or the vampire, do you have any interest in them, or do you want to reskin?
I'm good with the ghost.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you want to read the italic text on the ghost.
I do. You used to have a future. Growing up was painful turmoil at times, but at least you were growing. Now you only have a past, unfinished business to take care of before you can leave this world behind. Life is precious, you understand that, but now that you've lost yours, you just want to help. You just want to be seen, but sometimes even the simplest desires feel so difficult to grasp. Ghostly ghost, you are dead.
Mm-hmm. And for how this ties into this particular small town, it says, your death was never accounted for during the Great Tragedy. Why were you there on that fateful day? Okay, so now that we've gone through that and you picked your skins, you're going to choose your identities. So your identities on each page, they're very important because, this is not a battle game. This is an interaction game. This is a conversation. So your identities are very important. So that's your name, your look, your eyes, and your origin. So we're going to go reverse order from how you all picked. So we're going to start with Kelsa.
Awesome. So my name will be... Oh, geez, names are hard. Why do I have to pick names? Luckily, there is a list here.
There is a list.
I can't be Catherine because that's the name of the ghost in the other game I'm playing, and that'd just be weird. So I'm gonna go with Lenora.
Lenora's a very good name for a ghost.
It is. My look... brooding. That sounds good. My eyes are unnerving. And my origin... You know what? Even though a tragic accident is on this list, I'm gonna go with Left to Die.
Ooh, adding tragedy to the tragic accident.
That's right.
Oof, messed up past of Lenora. I'm getting excited about this character. So, you're a knight in Satan's service, Nick. What are you all about?
Alright, so my name will be Damien. He's a little spooked, so his look is spooked. His eyes, I'm thinking... It's a hard one to do. I'm thinking flickering eyes, so that'll be an interesting thing to do. And then his origin, let's see, found something eldritch and alien.
But that in and of itself doesn't have to be the entirety of your origin if you want to add to
True. Yeah. I like the idea that he's an emissary, but he doesn't actually know it yet.
Nice.
So. I'm
Okay.
good with that.
And then Michael, you've got your hollow going on. What's their name?
Well, I had my concept that popped into my head was a teen golem. So, for the name, I got to go with Clay.
Fair.
For the look, probably Ernest, because I'm the naive newcomer. Eyes, maybe Vacant. So I am just made of clay.
Mm-hmm.
Origin. I think Machine is the one that's most connected to the Golem myth.
Makes sense. Okay, and then we've got our queen bee. Last and not least, she actually contractually obligated me to say that.
Yeah, sure I did. So I'm gonna be Veronica. I like the idea of having calculating eyes. Look is icy. And honestly, looking over my options for origin here, I'm really, especially considering we're in like a mining town and I'm a queen bee. I like the idea of being the firstborn of the hive mind.
There you go. So maybe in a way it was like whatever that accident was freed the consciousness that has created your hive mind abilities.
Perhaps.
Ooh, it sounds like it's all beginning to tie together a little bit. That's exciting. Okay, so let's see. Next up, oh, there are strings. Let's do the strings. And there are also moves to select. So everybody's got strings, everybody's got moves. And I'm going to look at that now. Maybe. Oh, I see. The strings all I'm supposed to explain to you how moves and strings work. So, your moves are your specialty that you can do. It's something that really only your particular playbook can do. I think all of you have played Powered by the Apocalypse. All of you are familiar with the concept. Strings are your abilities to manipulate other people. As part of creating your background, you're going to be establishing who you have strings on. So when we fill out the strings, you're going to write the name of the person that you have the string on, then you're going to draw a little circle next to it. And when you use that string, you fill it in. You can spend strings throughout the game. You can gain more strings throughout the game. So that's a big part of the mechanic of this one. So let's go ahead now and choose your stats and your moves. You'll see that every page has 2 stat blocks. You just pick one or the other, cross out the one you're not using. It's real simple. You don't even need to share that with me. And then you get to pick a certain number of moves. So if anybody has any moves that they're particularly interested in their playbook and they want to explain them, let me know. You know what? I'm going to start in a weird place. I'm going to start with Michael. Let's do Michael first on this. So what moves are you thinking about for your character?
Okay, I picked 2 that I think will work in a cool sequence.
Okay.
So with a blank canvas, when you take an action that embodies one of your conditions, allowing that condition to alter your sense of self, cross it off and add +1 to your roll. So that gets rid of the conditions. Then, when you try harder next time, when you screw up, give yourself an appropriate condition and take +1 forward. So it will inspire me to get conditions all the time and then act like them so they go away.
Fair enough.
Before I do this, I do want to know, what are conditions?
Sure. So conditions in this game are basically like somebody you know, like in high school when you get a reputation, and whether that's like weirdo, spaz, jock, you know, nerd. I'm listing a lot of things that got applied to me other than jock. Theater kid, you know. That's a condition. That, like, if somebody's like, oh, they always overreact to things, right? That's a condition. That doesn't mean that that's something that you really believe about yourself. It means it's something everybody else believes about you. So you know how it can be like you'll get in a social situation and say somebody's like, Michael's always overreacting to everything. Then that's already in the water before you even show up. You know, so no matter what you do, people are already treating you that way. So that's basically what a condition is.
Oh, that's very, very teenager.
Yeah, I mean, the whole game is it's teenage monsters in trouble.
So does the MC like give us those conditions, or?
Conditions are both from the MC, but also part of various moves. And let's go over the moves really quickly. So the first move is turn someone on, in which you roll with hot, and if you succeed, you gain strings on people. There are usually other things that add to it. In the case of turning someone on, it's I give myself to you, I promise you something I think you want, or I get embarrassed and act awkwardly. So the one that does the move picks who they're trying to turn on. The one that has it done to them is the one that gets to pick the conditions. So, and with a lower success, you get to pick one or the other. So say somebody tries to do that move and they get a 7 or a 9 or an 8. Then that means it's either they give you it, either there's a string or a reaction's chosen. It's not both. They're shutting someone down, obviously kind of the opposite of hot. And that can be imposed on somebody that's trying to use hot on you, and you're like, no, that's simply not happening. Like, so if you think that your character's ace, if you think that your character's like 100% somewhere on the Kinsey scale, and you just are like, that's no. Like, turning someone on is not happening. You have to switch to shut someone down. And there's other reasons to shut someone down too. Someone's asking you to do something you don't want to do. But at any rate, with a shut someone down, somebody loses a string. And if they have no strings on you, you gain one on them. They gain a condition. So that's one way to get a condition. Or you take up one forward. Keeping your cool, pretty standard in these apocalypse world games. Keeping your cool is pretty much always keeping your cool. Lash out physically is the only violence move in this game. You know, this is designed to be a game where there's no violence, no violence, no violence. Oh my god, so much violence. No violence, no violence, no violence. So this isn't a D&D kind of scenario where there's like long drawn out fights with an army of goblins or something. This is, you know, like schoolyard brawls, but maybe one person turns into a werewolf or sucks someone's life force out, you know? There's running away. Running away is you're running away. There's gazing into the abyss. Gazing into the abyss might be very literal with Nick's character, but it can also be something like doing a web search and gradually finding out all the horrible things about somebody, you know? So there's more than just the literal gazing into the abyss. Kelsa's character might also literally gaze into the abyss. Really, any of you might literally gaze into the abyss, considering who you are. But there are other ways of gazing into the abyss. Then there's pulling the strings. So pulling strings means when you already have strings on someone, you can spend them. And you can do that to tempt them to do what you want. If they do what you want, they get XP. You can give them a condition. You can take +1 to rolls against them, and you can add +1 to any harm you deal to them. So strings are really powerful. And all of this is on your player sheets. Healing. Healing's healing. It goes pretty slow in this game, but if you heal somebody that you really care for in a way that indicates you really care for them, they heal additional harm. Skirting death. Just because you've taken all your harm and you should die, that doesn't mean you're going to die. You could just become your darkest self. every player sheet has a darkest self on it. And I'm going to let you keep those to yourselves right now so that they're more of a surprise if they come up. Another way that darkest self might happen is if you lash out physically and, you don't get a, uttermost success. Obviously, your monsters, there is darkness. But there's darkness in all of us, right? And then, so conditions, if you take advantage of someone's conditions while making a move against them, you get to add 1 to your roll. Condition goes away when the character's suffering. It takes appropriate action to alleviate it. So if somebody's saying, oh, Lenore's a total coward. She never gets involved in anything. And then you save the school from Cthulhu. They're not going to believe that condition anymore. And then there are rules about gangs, but I don't think any of you are going to have gangs yet other than Christina's character. I think you start with a gang, so gangs add +1 to your rolls and harms.
It does give me the option. That is one of my potential moves I can choose from, is one that deals with my gang.
Gang dance. Okay. Anyway, does anybody else have some moves that they're very interested in already?
Yes, I've already picked the moves that I'm going to choose.
Sure. What moves are you picking, Kelsa?
Should I also mention the one that I start with for free?
Yes, please do.
So as a ghost, I start with an unresolved trauma. Whenever something brings to your mind your death, you choke up and gain the condition traumatized, if you don't have it already. When someone helps you resolve this condition, you both mark experience. And then I'm going to choose transference. Whenever you spend some time truly listening to someone else's struggles, they will heal 1 harm and then transfer the remaining harm to you. Just suck up all the harm.
Oh.
And then finally, to counterbalance that, I'm going to take limitless. I can walk through walls and fly.
Nice. Yeah, so obviously I think the ghost in this scenario is you're solid, you're manifested. You're not a poltergeist, you're a kid in school.
Normally, but I can specifically, because I have this power, also walk through walls if I really want to.
Right. So there's some reason you've decided after all this time after you've died to go back to school and start showing up again, whatever that might be.
I have some ideas.
Nice.
All right, so I've decided on my moves.
Okay.
So my free one is the Click. You're at the head of the toughest, coolest, most powerful clique around. They count as a gang. Choose one of the following strengths. And I chose that they are cultists with dark oaths and willingness to die. And then my other move is streaming. So you have a telepathic connection with your gang members. You can always hear their emotions and fears. If you try to hear specific thoughts, gaze into the abyss about it and add 1 to your roll.
Okay. And so, Nick, do you want to say what moves you want to do?
So, I have 2 things as the Infernal. I have my moves, and then I also have 2 bargains that I have. So I'll start with the moves. The first one is the automatic one, which is Soul Debt, which is I owe a debt to a dark power, name it, and choose 2 bargains it has made with you. The dark power can gain strings. If ever it has 5 strings on you, trigger your darkest self. So, I'll get back to you on the name of this entity.
Sure.
But the second move that I have is called Can't Save Myself, which is when somebody saves you from forces too powerful for you to reckon with, they mark experience, and you gain a string on them. So I gain a string on them. And then my 2 bargains are the power flows through you, which is I can give the dark power a string in order to add +2 to my roll. My next roll. And then Uncanny Voices. I can give the dark power a string in order to realize a secret about someone you're talking to. The owner of that character will reveal one of their secret fears, secret desires, or secret strengths. They choose which.
Okay. So we're finally up to the point where we're going to establish your backstories. Dun-dun-dun. So every one of yours has every one of your sheets has an area where you're going to get to establish your backstory. So basically, this is where you're getting your initial strings. So I am going to start with Nick. So Nick,
All right.
Your strings.
Yes.
You owe debts. Give away
Mhm.
3 strings divided any way you like between the dark power and the other characters. Do you want to give any strings to your dark power? Do you want to give any strings to any of these characters?
I'll at least give one to the dark power.
Why, thank you.
And then I think let's give one to Kelsa's character, who I forget the name of. Sorry.
Sure, Lenora. So
Lenora.
Lenora is the one that's going to mark this down in their string section. So you are going to note that you have a string on Damien. So write Damien, then just draw a circle next to it. Don't fill in the circle till you spend the string.
Okay, perfect. Damien.
And you have one more string to
I do
give
have one
away.
more string.
You could always give another one to the dark power.
Just to make things interesting, let's give a string to Christina's character. Again.
Ooh. The first of many strings for Christina's character. I feel like if anybody's string section is gonna fill up, it's gonna be Christina's. So Christina, you write Damien, put a circle next to it. And the reason I'm gonna do your strings last because yours are the most complicated, Christina. I already know this ahead of time. Okay. And I think you have one more string, Damien.
Yes, I do. I have someone thinks they can save me, and I gain a string on them.
So do you think which of these characters do you think thinks they can save you?
That's a good question.
Do you think it's the new kid? Do you think it's the spooky girl that has the hollow eyes? Do you think it's Miss Popular?
I mean,
Sorry, the brooding eyes. The new kid has hollow eyes.
I have unnerving eyes, thank you very much.
Oh, you have unnerving eyes.
okay.
I want to save you, Damien.
I could see it. I could either see that or Lenora, like so. But if you really want to do it, Michael, then I will take a string. So which is
So you write it on your sheet, Nick. So you write Clay and then put a circle. So that should be the only string that's showing up on your sheet. Kelsa's sheet should have your name and a circle, and Christina's sheet should have your name and a circle.
All right.
And then we've done it right. Let us go ahead and do Kelsa's backstory next.
Awesome. Someone knows that you are dead and how you died. They gain 2 strings on you. It's Damien.
Ooh.
Damien, you know that I'm dead and you know how I died. And I think...
So what was that? So I gain 2 strings?
Right.
Yes.
So you'll write Lenora on your sheet and then put 2 circles next to it.
Okay.
I think that you found me in the mine. Maybe at the same time that you found your dark power, maybe at a different time. But I think that's how you found... I think you found me there, and yet somehow you know that I'm dead. So...
That'd be pretty cool if you found her dead, desiccated body and then somebody very similar to that body showed up the next day at school.
Yep. Pretty much
Like, wait, what?
exactly that. Pretty much exactly that. And then you've been inside someone's bedroom while they were sleeping. Take a string on them.
That's some
Ah.
Twilight crap right there.
Yeah, I think it was Veronica. Like,
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
So write Veronica on your sheet, put a circle next to it. See, and this is like an interesting thing about this. Like, we've already put together a bunch of the story just by creating the characters and having the setting. We know that this mining accident happened. We know where Nick's found his things. We know that Nick found, not Nick, Damien found his thing. We know that down there is where he found Lenora's body. And we know that, Lenora's creeping on Veronica while she sleeps. Like you do. I don't know, maybe that used to be her room. Okay, and next up we'll do Clay's strings.
All right, my first one. You've been taking your social cues from someone, and doing so has taught you a lot about them. Gain 2 strings on them. I think it's either Veronica or Damien, who's like the social nexus of the school that I'd be drawn to.
I mean, the social nexus of the school is probably Veronica.
Is Veronica.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes sense then. So I'll put or Veronica puts me in. Is that true?
No, you have 2 strings on her, so you'll write Veronica on your sheet, Clay, and then put 2 dots next to her.
Okay.
I feel like the next one kind of just applies to one character.
Someone's seen through your invented past and realized it's all lies. They gain 2 strings on you.
I mean, I guess that could be any of them, but
Well, I was thinking Lenora makes the most sense because
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, as the dead recognize the not alive.
Yeah. So Lenora,
So-
do you currently have a string on Clay?
I do not.
Okay, so write Clay and put 2 circles.
2 circles. You got it. All right, nice.
If it wasn't
Alright.
Lenora, I could definitely see Damien also knowing because he has the uncanny voices.
True.
But it works.
Yes. Okay, and then finally we have Miss Popular. Because we have to make up NPCs for yours.
Yeah. Name 3 side characters who are members of your gang. Gain a string on each of them. Just because it's funny and it goes with some of my NPCs when I DM D&D, I'm going to go with the troll names that I normally do. Fred, George, and... Oh, I don't even remember what the other one was. We'll make up Cordelia. So Fred, George, and Cordelia.
Nice. So you got kind of more of a Riverdale thing going with your group. Like it's mixed guys and girls.
I was gonna try and go with all more
Fred could be a girl.
Fred could be a girl. George
Uh,
could be a girl.
See, I'm picturing Fred and George as both the linebackers from the football team.
Fair.
They're like bodyguards.
Fair enough.
All right. And then you find someone threatening, give them a string on you and take a string on them. Honestly, I'm going to say that one's going to be Damien.
That is incredibly logical. So, Damien, do you currently have a string on Veronica?
I do not.
Veronica, do you currently have a string on Damien?
I had 1.
Okay, now you have 2 strings on Damien, and Damien, you have 1 string on Veronica.
Sounds good.
How do you think your characters do feel about each other? Because I'm beginning to get kind of a rivalry idea between the 2 of you. Like, are you are you like some sort of cool kid, Damien, or are you just like this quiet outsider kind of guy?
I did take the whatever. I do have 1 in hot, so I would say that I have some popularity. I think before I found whatever it is that I found, I was on the more popular side, and I'm thinking maybe as a dare, I went down into the mines, and that's where I found it.
Nice.
So
Like maybe you're like really good in one sport that's not like the super cool sport, but you're still like an athlete.
yeah, yeah.
See,
I
my
see.
thought was that, since my family is the one who owns the mine and basically caused whatever happened, and Damien went down, I feel threatened that he's going to expose something that could destroy me.
Nice. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay, I can see that.
So the last thing that we're doing is a seating chart, which I've made. Ooh, this is your homeroom seating chart. With your teacher, Ms. Devlin. You're right. And the seating chart is basically a way of establishing the NPCs pretty quickly in the game. I think obviously Fred, George, and Cordelia are all going to be in your class. I would imagine that anytime like Veronica's ever been separated from them, she finds some way to always get them back in.
I can see.
And so when we're doing the seating chart, it actually is by order of popularity that we decide on this. So I feel like the question of which of you is the most popular is pretty obvious. Right? So, since you are the most popular, Veronica, where do you like to sit in the class? Do you like to sit up front, middle-ish? Do you like to be in the back?
How many rows were there?
There were 4 rows.
Put me in the third row back.
The third row back.
Yeah, and like as close to like the middle. That way I can have like my gang surrounding me.
Okay. So you're going to be middle-ish, third row back. That's where Veronica's going to be sitting. And your gang is literally going to be surrounding you in like the shape of a cross? Or do you think...
Triangle, cross.
Sure. Do you want one of them behind you or one of them in front of you?
Probably one behind.
That makes more sense. Do you want that to be Cordelia, George, or Fred?
Let's put George behind me and then Fred and Cordelia on either side.
Okay. Do you think that George sat behind you because he has a thing for you?
I just don't like looking at him.
So would you say he's kind of your least favorite amongst the clique?
He's just kind of brutish and trollish looking.
Okay, so he's like
not
a brutish...
pretty.
He's a brutish troll of a man, and you've demanded that he sit in the way back of the classroom to like keep everybody from throwing up?
Well, that and, you put your biggest shield behind you to protect your back.
Fair enough. I'm just making notes on what you think about him. So, out of the other two, who do you view as your right-hand person, Cordelia or Fred?
Cordelia.
And do you think that you actually like Cordelia, or is this all just a mask and you really don't feel anything about anybody?
She's a means to the end. But she's intelligent and conniving. Like me. She's just not as pretty.
So, almost like an assistant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your gopher.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
The second in command as well, though. She's the beta to my alpha.
Fair. And what are your feelings on Fred? Do you like pretend that you're in a relationship with him?
I like to flirt with Fred. But nothing would ever come seriously with him. He's not from a good enough family. I
Is
am
there anybody
really
in the
taking
class
this mean girl all the way up.
Is there anybody in the classroom that you think is good enough for you?
No.
Is there anybody else in the classroom that you feel ambitious towards, like is a main competitor?
No.
Okay. Cool. And final question. Is there anybody that desperately wants to get in your clique that you're just not letting in, but they're like always trying to sit near you guys?
Anyone who's not in it already.
Is there anyone in particular? Would you like to name them?
Ricky.
It looks like Michael might have an idea. Or are you saying, Michael, that you want your character to be that person?
Well, I've been taking my social cues from her.
That's true. Do you want if you want, you can be sitting in the very back corner here, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's shown up very well, but like all the way back, it kind of puts you in where their group is, but also puts you way in the back of the room.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So
That
this new kid who kind of gets on your nerves, maybe, he's always kind of looking at you and always trying to put himself near you guys.
That works.
But for some reason, your psychic powers haven't been working on him properly.
Well, I really only have the telepathic connection to my gang.
Fair. There's just something very weird, almost like a dead space with him.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that sounds like that's about as many people. Oh, what was the name of the other person that's like a wannabe hanger-on?
Ricky. Yeah.
Is Ricky a boy or a girl? Or gender non-conforming? They could be.
I have no idea what Ricky is.
Okay, I'm putting Ricky down as they, them, then.
That works.
And they're just, you're not sure if they want to be you or if they just want to be around you or what their deal is, but they always just seem to be around.
I have a picture in my mind of that.
Okay. So I think that we have established that next highest in terms of popularity is, in fact, Damien. So Damien, the back row is getting pretty full.
Okay.
There's one seat in the very back, and there's one seat in the third row. The entire first and second row are completely open.
Okay. I was thinking of actually being up front because it actually, with the voices that I keep hearing and the secrets that I keep hearing, it's easier for me to not hear them when I'm up front.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'm going to put you like front and center.
Sure.
Now, up front is where the nerds tend to sit.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're friends with any of them in particular? Like, do you think that you've got an Anthony Michael Hall kind of character?
Let's say that there's one of those like semi-nerdy, semi-sporty kind of guys who is in the same, let's say, just for the fun of it, because I did soccer, let's say I'm in the soccer team.
Okay. What do you think this other soccer person is named? Obviously, it's going to be a male character.
Yes, yeah. Sadly, no co-ed. Let's go with Shane.
Shane?
Yeah.
And do you want Shane to be sitting behind you? That seems to be kind of like where a teammate would be likely to be sitting.
Sure.
Or do you want him like up next to you?
Let's see. There's let's go next to on the right.
Okay, next to you on the right is Shane. So he is a soccer friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Shane just wants to be friends with you, or have you ever gotten the impression that maybe he wants something more out of your relationship? Like a secret confession at a
Oh, yeah.
kegger, or
Right.
and
Yeah.
then afterwards, like, just kidding. That's what?
I will say, as far as I know, there hasn't been anything like that. So we've just been pretty much just buds.
Okay, so you're just good buds, nothing beyond that.
As far as I know, I'll leave that up to you.
Do you have any other interests together besides soccer?
Um,
Heavy metal? Monster truck rallies?
nah.
Gambling? Beer?
Decision making is so much fun. I would say we just sort of like, actually we skate. Why not? Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, you're skater boys.
Yeah. We're at a weird crossroads in that way. Like, we have connections to the skaters as well as the.
Right on. So do you think that, with that being said, do you think you have a skater friend in your class? There's no way they're sitting up in the front row with you, Terry
Oh, hell.
nerds.
Nah. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Let's go with actually no, just for the fun of it, let's do a they. Let's go kind of I'm not good with names.
They could just use their skater name
Sure.
or a graffiti name. You know, maybe they're like super cool and artistic that way.
Okay.
And if they're queer, they might have decided, like, you know, screw the name I was given
the
at
name
birth.
aspect. Yeah, that's true. How about I know them as just for the fun of it, Slash.
Slash. Okay. And I'm gonna put Slash behind you. Are you okay with
Okay.
that?
Yeah, that's cool. It's like if they want to be there, that's cool with them. So.
Yeah. So Slash. Also they them. Nice. Also into skating. And I'm gonna say that they got that nickname because they were known for writing slash fiction. Lately, they've been really into doing slash fiction between Steven Universe characters and She-Ra characters.
Interesting.
Yeah, me too, Christina. Okay. And do you think that Christina and Nick, or let me address you by characters, Damien, Veronica,
Sure.
you both have lived in this town. You have family in this town. Do you think that you have any relatives in this classroom?
No, not
Not
for
in this
Veronica.
one, no.
Okay. Same question to Kelsa. I mean, do you think that you have any, like, I mean, they'd be distant relatives, but
Yeah, you know what? I think I do. I think I have like a second cousin or something like that, who probably doesn't even know that they're related to me.
yeah.
And I think her name is Esther.
Esther. Where do you think Esther will be sitting in all this? Is Esther like a good girl kind of nerd, or would Esther be like, you know, kind of further to the back of the class?
Probably like right in the middle.
Okay.
Like
I still have a
Trying,
middle seat open.
trying not to stand out, basically.
Okay. So Esther, who doesn't want to stand out, has unfortunately ended up in the seat right in front of Veronica. Poor thing.
Oh, that's terrible. I love it. That's a little dog. I love you, little dog.
So, Veronica, this pathetic mousy nothing, has decided to sit in front of you in the class. Ugh.
Oh, I heard that, you know, she makes great target practice.
Yeah. And by the way, that's totally high school flashbacks for me, because I was definitely one of those kids that, like, tried so hard to not stand out, and then I would get my hair filled with spitballs as the day went along.
See, I was the one who would actually sit in the back, and actually one of my closest friends, he and I started out as kind of enemies because he sat in front of me in drafting and I thought he was cute, so I kept poking him with my triangle until I pissed him off enough that he broke it.
Fair. Okay, so the one character I don't know where they're sitting is Lenora. Lenora, there are seats available all over the class other than the middle.
Wait, did you already get where Clay's sitting?
Yeah, Clay, because he's like this desperate hanger-on of Veronica, is trying to be back
Right.
with where her group is.
Um,
And it's positioned in such a way that he has a really good view of Veronica.
right. I think I sit as far away from Damien as possible, so it's probably the back corner.
There is still a back corner available, so
Yeah, let's go
Cool.
with that.
And Lenora, to help with not being seen by Damien, you have sat behind a very large person who's a bit of a human shield. What do you think this person's all about, and why do you think they're so big?
I think that she plays sousaphone in the marching band.
Nice, I like it. Big band girl.
Yep.
No, I have no idea how to spell sousaphone after all these years.
SOU.
Z-A.
ZAPHONE, I believe. Because band geeks are hard to hear.
Yeah.
Color guard, my husband was a band geek.
And what do you think her name is?
Oh, names again. Why do I do this to myself?
Well, to be fair, I'm doing this to you.
Kara with a K.
Kara with a K. Plays sousaphone in the marching band.
Yeah.
Do you think that she's into your dark spookiness?
I think she's into my aesthetic in general.
Do you think that she shares that aesthetic, or if she just thinks, wow, that's so cool that you can express yourself that way?
Oh, definitely the second one. Definitely the wow, that's so cool that you can express yourself like that. Well, I'm busy. Like she gets to wear a marching band uniform sometimes, and yeah, no, that's it.
Okay, so then we still have 4 wild card students in the class. I haven't asked Clay about any opinions at all yet as far as the classroom goes. And I'm sorry, Clay, it's just, you're the new kid and you're not very popular.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm a blank slate who wants to copy everybody.
So, as far as things go, let's figure out there's like a little corner of the room. Do you think that they're just a relatively unknown group to the rest of you? Like, you just don't ever talk to these other 3 kids?
I think one of them at least needs to be like a loner type.
Sure. So we've got like a loner type, who's also kind of ended up, you know what? He's going to try to be a little bit further from the rest of you, but he wouldn't want to be up in the front of the class either. I just don't think he'd want to sit next to Veronica.
He'd probably want to be like as far from the front as possible.
Right. Unfortunately, he's gotten kind of stuck in the second row. Poor guy. Unless any of you have any objections, I'm going to name him JD.
That works.
Okay.
Sure.
What do you think JD was doing last summer?
Playing in the backyard.
Like trying to figure out where the ducks went and
Like staying home and doing nothing and being boring.
It was like
He
Catcher
was
in
just-
the Rye reference.
Secret
Just-
gamer.
Yeah. So he just is an avid video game player.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm saying that despite them being a loner, they think Slash is pretty cool. They've played Fortnite together.
Come on, 7 Days to Die, kill some zombies.
I mean, I'm sure that he plays that too. He's on Reddit message boards a lot. Okay, and then we still have those three other people. So I'm gonna kind of make them their own clique, and you guys just don't know them that well. We'll find out how that maybe ties into the villains. I'm seeing what other choices there were on this sheet. Okay, cool. I'm gonna say one of them is the daughter of another rich family in town, but she's like not like you, or maybe she's
very
exactly.
down to earth and
Yeah,
basically she's the anti-popular. Like she doesn't want to be popular.
yes, she's got one really super close friend, and then she's also got a girlfriend, and I guess I have to make up details about her now. So, I mean, she's gonna be named Betty. Obviously.
Make her best friend Archie.
Okay, but Archie's still a girl.
That's fine. I don't care. Just makes it really funny.
I'm trying to think of let's see. And then they have another friend named Caribou who's on the football team. Just filling out this classroom. Okay. And I think that is it in terms of setup. Yep, that's the seating chart. Just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out because this is the first game I've ever run that had a classroom seating chart. So. So. It's the best time of day at school, which is to say it just ended. The bell rings and you're free to go home for the day. Yes. Or to go to your awesome extracurriculars, maybe go to the skate park. Maybe watch Slash graffiti a wall with their awesome street art. Maybe try to hide all of your horrible secrets from other people. Maybe time to float back to the cemetery where you should be buried, but you are not. It's entirely up to you where you're going when finally the bell rings and you're let out of this horrible hellhole of a school that they still are digging asbestos out of after all of these years. Clay, you're trying your best to follow Veronica around. So let's find out what Clay and Veronica are doing first. What's Veronica doing and how's Clay trying to fit in?
I'm thinking that I would take my gang and anyone that is good enough for us to the pit.
Ooh, what's the pit?
Is one of the scene locations.
I know.
It's a seedy party spot nestled in the bluffs.
Cool. Clay, you see that Veronica's heading off somewhere. It's probably somewhere totally awesome. Do you want to approach her, or do you just want to follow her from a distance like a pathetic dog? No judgment.
Sorry, the pathetic dog comment. No, Clay. So here's my set of character concept. Is that Clay's parents lost their son around his age, so they used Kabbalah magic to create a golem. But the golem was just a mindless clay creation. So to bring it up to speed, they just showed him a bunch of like John Hughes teen movies and like Saved by the Bell reruns and like Boy Meets World. Just a lot of like teen media, which he sort of filtered through, but like kind of badly. He is made of clay after all. But anyway, that's how he tries to act. So if he sees popular person heading out, he's going to follow and then try and insinuate himself into that group.
So, having seen all these John Hughes movies, is there a particular John Hughes character he's decided to model himself on?
He bounces between them. I mean, as well as just other people he meets too in his life. He kind of imprints on them and then imitates them.
So, Veronica, you see that guy, that new kid. He seems to want to be tagging along. Are you okay with that, or do you want to have one of your goons speak to him?
I'm actually thinking that, Ricky is probably doing the same thing, trying to follow me.
That's correct.
So, to get and tell Ricky to get on my good side, they need to distract Clay and do something else with Clay and get Clay away from the pit. And the longer Ricky can do that and stay away themselves, the better I'm gonna feel about them.
You got it, Veronica. God, you're awesome. I mean, whatever, I don't care. I'm still gonna do this for you. Not just because you asked, like I'm not pathetic, but yeah, I'll go do that.
Ricky, just go now.
Yeah, sorry. So, I mean, yeah. I like I imagine you going to this pit party with wine, by the way. And you haven't you've brought like as much wine as normal kids do to these kinds of things, but instead of it being like cheap jugs of wine, you've actually brought expensive wine at like huge amounts because you're that rich.
Barrels from the vineyard.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think that
I don't do keg parties, I do barrel parties.
Nice. So do you think that part of why you've picked this seedy party spot is it's like where like your hive connection's kind of the strongest, or like do you feel being drawn to the spot, or is it just convenient?
I'm seeing it as like it's definitely kind of convenient, but it's also like isolated. And when I was going through a horrible depressive episode as a popular girl, that when I was feeling horrible about myself, I ran over there and just wanted to be by myself and do whatever a moody teenager wants to do. And that was when the hive mind struck.
Fair. So basically, like, this is a good place for you to sort of reinforce your connections to people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they're more susceptible to it when they're drunk?
Probably a lot more easy to get into their mind and read more than just their emotions and their fears.
Mm-hmm. Nice. At any rate, while you're heading there, Ricky is going to go confront Clay. Hey, new kid. I know that you're really recent to Harry Reid High, but you gotta know, like, there's, like, protocols. Like, you don't just get to start hanging with Veronica.
Oh, yeah, I know. I wasn't about to start just hanging with Veronica.
Right, but you were, like, heading towards her. You know, like, trying to go to the party.
Yeah, I want to go to the party.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, that's hanging with Veronica. You're not ready to hang with Veronica yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How do
you
I
gotta
get-
work your way up to hanging with Veronica.
How do I do that?
Well, I'll tell you something. Veronica thinks it's really cool when people go to the skate park and try to skate.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because I love skate parks and skating.
Yeah, I bet. They look really skeptical about this. At any rate, they say as they apply like some bright red lipstick to themselves. Do you even know where the skate park is?
I don't even know what a skate park is. But I
Where are you
I won't say that.
from? Like Utah?
No, I won't say that. I'll just be like, I know where it is, but I forgot. Could you show me?
Sure, yeah. If you're lucky, maybe we'll run into Slash. Slash is kind of like everything I want to be.
Oh,
You
me
know
too.
what I mean? They introduced me the idea of they them pronouns. Slash is awesome. Just between me and you, I actually kind of prefer hanging with Slash than hanging with Veronica, but you know.
Yeah, I probably do as well.
Do you know Slash?
No. Once I do, I assume I will.
Let's go over to the skate park. It's probably more your speed anyway.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Okay. So I'm guessing that Damien's probably over in the skate park unless he's doing soccer practice right now.
I would say it's sort of like it's the off day for practice, and so yeah, I'm hanging out with Slash and the rest of them.
Sure. So you, Slash, JD, and Shane are all hanging out, skating, gleaming the cube and whatnot.
Grinding some
sorry.
rails.
Now, so I know that that's kind of where you are. Lenora, what do you think you're doing?
So I think I'm going to another one of these scene locations, Diego's, the abandoned restaurant just off of Carson Street.
Nice.
And I have keys to this place because I used to work here in the 60s.
Cool.
And it was my after school job. And so, I come here because I can't go home because my family doesn't live there anymore, and also I'm dead. So I come here after school, and been kind of squatting here, but also kind of like reliving a little bit of my life. Keeping the floors swept and like. I can't actually make anything in the kitchen because there's no electricity and nothing in the refrigerator, but I go through the motions.
Nice. As you're going through the motions of putting everything back together the way you kind of remember it, you hear the sound of like tiny wheels going against cement outside. It's kind of a strange sound to you, as that like skating wasn't super popular yet when you died.
Right.
You look out the back and you see a bunch of it's a mixed group, but it's there's a lot of boys out there who are like all doing their best to look disaffected. One of them one of them's doing a bunch of crazy tricks on this weird little board that you've never seen before. It looks pretty cool, but you don't
It does
really
look pretty cool.
Yeah. Like it looks kind of like a skateboard, but like it's different than the ones you remember, which were these massive things that people like would cruise down the sidewalks on.
Yeah.
You also see another figure. You see Slash, who's like been skating, but now is working on a mural on the wall. They're actually painting over some other graffiti, but the stuff that Slash is painting is much better looking than what was there before. Not like high art or anything. It's still definitely like graph, but it's like very professional, cool looking.
Awesome.
So you see all that happening as Ricky leads Clay to this group of people.
Like I watch, like I'm picturing like the back door has like a screen window in it, and like there's like a screen door and like a door, and the door is open, and then the door with the screen in it is closed, but like I can see and hear out. And I kind of like watch from there, and I'm like holding my broom, but I'm not sweeping anymore. I don't really want to join them, but I am fascinated by what they're doing.
Yeah, and after watching them skate for a little bit, you realize that boy who found your body is amongst them.
Shit.
Why did they keep ending up back near you?
That's a problem. All right, I'm gonna watch, but like, kind of squat down a little bit more, so someone's not gonna see me in here.
Yeah.
Like I like partially close the door so I can like peek out, because I'm interested in what he's doing over here, as well as what this strange skateboarding thing is, and that cool mural that Slash is making. But I don't want to go out there, especially not if he's there.
Yeah. So Clay, as you approach, there's the one guy painting the mural. There's another guy wearing a trench coat who's like, right now he's stopped skating. He's like sitting on his board and playing a Nintendo Switch. And there are two like guys from the soccer teams that are currently like showing off their cool tricks to each other. Hey everybody, says Ricky. Have you met Clay yet? He's the new kid.
Hi, I'm the new kid.
I think he's from Utah.
That's interesting. That's...
No, I was born here.
Really?
Anyway, so this is skateboarding, huh?
Yeah, have you ever tried it?
You know, I haven't, but I do know that it's totally radical and awesome.
Yeah.
Why don't you show me what it is, and I'll follow along.
Sure. Why not? Show you kid the ropes. Yeah, I'll show a few things off.
Yes, you show a few things off to him. You know, you're doing some pretty cool tricks.
Yes.
Looking pretty impressive. Make a keep your cool check.
Sure. Which is with cold. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. 7, just barely.
Okay. So you know, like you're doing pretty well, but like as usual, Shane is better than you.
Oh yeah.
Like Shane is just on another level. And it's like, and you're cool with it, like he's your friend, but sometimes you get kind of jealous about it too. Like maybe if you had more power from like that new thing that you've discovered, maybe you'd be better at that than him.
Yeah, maybe.
And actually, when you start feeling that, the dark powers do whisper into your head and are like, you know, I could make you more talented than your friend. It wouldn't take any effort.
I'm sure. Now's not the time.
No, I suppose not. But you should also know you're being watched.
Wouldn't happen to be that one person that I found. Actually, I wouldn't know that, so I'll sort of like pause for a second and sort of like, it's like, yeah, you got this, and sort of head over to Slash and sort of pretend to see what they're doing, and sort of like also glancing around.
What's up, Damien?
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I've nearly tapped this can.
Yeah, it's looking good, man.
Thanks. Don't call me man.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I get it. It's a general expression thing, but, just don't do it.
Makes sense. I'll try to keep that in mind.
It's all right. I get it.
Yeah.
What's up?
No, I'm just sort of hanging out, seeing how things are going with you.
They turn around and look at you concerned. And they're like, you look kind of like you just saw a ghost. I mean, no offense, but you've been acting a little bit weird lately, Damien. That's coming from me.
That's nothing, just a little bit of pressure on the team and, like school pressure.
I get it. It's a tough time of year.
Yeah.
Just to say it's any time of year, God, I can't wait to get out of here and move to San Francisco. Everything's going to be awesome when I move there.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. No, I think you'd fit in real well there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, provided I get into Berkeley. Fingers crossed, right? Gotta keep up those grades.
Yeah. You seem to be doing all right with it.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Well,
who's that? Did you notice though? There's like a girl staring at you kind of intently from behind that screen door.
I'll like casually glance over.
The door slams shut, like the big heavy door, loudly, like you can hear it from across the skate park.
Do you want to try to run away, Lenora?
Yeah, let's do that. I gotta roll volatile. I am bad at volatile. Let's go. That's a 4.
Cool. Well, you get experience.
Hooray!
You're not used to having a physical body anymore, so you slam the door and you try to run away and you whack your head really hard.
I forgot to turn myself incorporeal. We forget that. It's an extra step.
You end up like right on the floor, and JD stands up from his video games like, "Whoa, did you guys hear that? Sounds like someone's hurt." Goes rushing in, and as you like blink your eyes open, you see Damien, Shane, JD, Clay, and Ricky all standing over you. Slash is still working on their project.
Mm-hmm. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just cleaning up in here. And like...
in the abandoned pizza place? Or the abandoned restaurant?
I mean... yeah, it's,
I mean, I'm all for it, man. I mean, it's cool to hang out in these types of places, but...
I mean, but, like, wouldn't it be cooler if it was a restaurant again? A pizza place? That'd be great. Yeah, that's
looks
my
like
plan.
Clay wants to say something.
Yeah, as soon as she mentions like cleaning it up and then saying it'd be cooler if it was a pizza place, Clay will start like cleaning it up, like start putting furniture upright and dusting off tables.
See, Clay gets it.
No, it's...
Thank you.
Ricky looks at Clay doing that and goes, does he? I don't know why, but I'm just loving Ricky.
You know, Ricky, you don't have to, like, judge people all the time, man.
Don't I?
I mean, not everything Veronica says is law, man.
I mean, Veronica isn't my ruler or anything. I just, like...
Really? Because you certainly act like it.
Ouch. Ow. Ow. Oh, no. Oh, I want to be popular. Oh, ow. Go ahead and do a shut someone down.
Oh, boy. With my -1 in cold. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a 3.
Okay. Well, you gain experience.
Woo! Alright. Those dice are not gonna be fun for me. All right. So
I do have a quick question. So Lenora knows that I'm a golem. Do I know that she's a ghost?
I don't know if you know that she's a ghost. I don't think you do. Lenora, this is probably the first time you realize this about Clay. Is that this guy's got, normally you can see kind of, because you're a ghost, you can see auras on the living. This guy's got nothing. He's just like a blank, empty space.
Fascinating. Yeah, well, like, I mean, he's doing what I want, so I'm not gonna question it right now, but I definitely like file this away for later. To be able to pull on that string, to use game terms here. Yeah. But I'm like, I think I stand up and I've got the broom in my hand again, and I kind of sweep it towards Damien and JD and Shane, who are all there. And I'm like, if you're not going to help, get out.
Hey, says JD, and he puts away his switch. I've been thinking, it would really, really, like, piss Veronica off if we did have a pizza party in here. Like, if we could get this cleaned up and, like, get one of these ovens working, we could have that in here tonight. And, man, like, we could draw everybody away from her stupid party up in the pit.
Oh,
like,
wow.
How awesome would that be if nobody showed up to her party?
That's way more ambitious than... I thought it was going to take weeks to get this place up and running.
If we all work together and get Slash in here painting, and he has a bunch of other... Oh, sorry, they have a bunch of other artist friends.
Oh, awesome.
I bet we could get this fixed up in a couple hours, and we could have a crazy party in here.
We could throw a total rager.
I don't know about a rager, but I think I could get the oven working if you guys want to clean stuff.
Yeah, and maybe we could talk to Betty about getting us the ingredients. She's got a lot of money and would love to bring Veronica down a peg.
I don't really know Betty that well, but yeah, you can talk to her.
Yeah, sounds good. So you guys are setting up this crazy pizza place thing. Meanwhile, back in what should have been an awesome night where everybody appreciates how great you are, Veronica, nobody is showing up. It's just you and your 3 goons and no one else. Not even silly little Ricky has come back.
Well, I mean, I did tell Ricky to keep Clay away as long as possible, and the longer they stayed away, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Well...
But are you okay with the fact that nobody else has come either?
Oh, definitely not. So... George, go get the truck.
I'm on it, Veronica. Anything for you, Veronica. God. Cordelia goes, God, needy much? As she, like, texts on the phone.
He's very needy.
It's pathetic.
But, you know, he is a wonderful shield.
Mm-hmm. And he's got that D, says Cordelia as she continues to text.
Only you would know that one.
You're missing out.
I seriously doubt it.
Now you put a bag over his head?
Yeah, no. The smell.
Whatever, I like the smell. Fred looks just uncomfortable about this conversation. George isn't there to hear it.
No, Freddie.
Veronica?
Might consider you. However, we need to get all these barrels packed up.
Really quickly, roll turn someone on with Fred.
Let's see, turn someone.
But trust me, that's enough with him.
That one is a hot. Oh, geez.
Don't you have good hot, or do you not?
Not with this one.
Uh-oh.
I went the opposite way.
Oh, you're cold.
Yes, I'm cold. 5?
I mean, he's definitely not turned on in any conceivable way, but you gain an experience point for it.
Yeah, I went with cutthroat and secretive.
Gotcha. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I guess. It's like whatever reason he's hanging out with you, it's not because he's attracted to you, I'm saying.
And it really doesn't bother me.
Hmm.
Because I'll flirt with him.
Yeah.
But he's not good enough anyway.
Yeah, nobody's ever good enough for you, Veronica, are they? Says
Nope.
Cordelia. And then she realizes what she said and is like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
It's only the truth. Because no one is good enough for me. And then she starts walking towards the truck as George pulls up.
Right.
Fred, get those barrels loaded.
Okay, Fred is going to get the barrels loaded back onto the truck. And Cordelia's going to keep texting. Because she's always texting. And she's like, hey, Veronica?
What?
I think I found out why no one's here.
Why is that?
Because, you know, that new weird kid and the spooky new kid and the skater boys?
What about them?
They are apparently throwing the most epic party of the decade.
Really?
Yeah, there's pizza and beer. And video games and skating. Like, everybody's, like, texting about it right now. Like, I'm looking at this TikTok. It looks pretty freaking lit.
Well, it's not epic.
She shows you, like,
until-
a picture of, like, Clay awkwardly flossing.
What about the truffle shuffle?
Yeah.
No, it's not epic until I get there. Let's go.
Okay. And they all load onto the pickup truck and drive to the party. Meanwhile, you guys are having, like, the time of your life and unlives and not a life at all at this party, which is under full swing, and everybody's attributing it to Lenore. Which, how does that make you feel, Lenore? Are you okay with that amount of spotlight, or are you super uncomfortable?
No, I'm super uncomfortable. I think that I keep trying to like push it off at like no, this was this was JD's idea. I don't even know anybody here, and like I keep trying to disappear into the back, and I feel like someone just keeps pulling me out again.
Yeah, Archie is like, don't be modest. Like, this pizza is amazing.
I didn't even make that pizza. Betty made the pizza. You know that.
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of thought you made it too.
Well, I mean, I was in the kitchen, but
Yeah,
look,
no.
I just have keys to this place. I didn't hardly do any of this.
I mean, yeah, you had keys and you knew how to get the oven back up and running. You shouldn't be so modest.
Well, I mean, there's no power, but they didn't stop the gas, so it was easy.
So I'm thinking, before actually arriving at this restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have George stop off at my house, drop off the barrels, because why waste wine on everybody when it should just be for the beautiful people.
Sure.
And then I'm going to raid the Rent's liquor cabinet for all their hard liquor.
Oh, bringing some hard liquor to the party.
Oh,
Are you gonna
yeah.
make, like, Jello shots?
No.
Okay.
That
I'm
takes too
just
much
gonna.
time.
I'm just thinking. I'm gonna grab a cooler. We're gonna grab a bunch of fruit, throw it in there, and just start making jungle juice.
Nice. Okay.
Also, since there's no power, like the entire pizza party is lit with candles.
Nice. It's like a goth
Nice.
pizza party.
Yes.
Um, Damien, you hear a voice in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there are a lot of candles around.
And
Can you do me a favor?
I'm guessing I have no choice in.
I mean, you can resist if you want to. I'm not your boss. I'm more like a very good friend, you know? But I can give you a lot more power if you do favors for me.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I want you to take some of those candles and arrange them in a very specific pattern. And you get the pattern projected into your head. You put them in that pattern, and that gives me a way to influence the world you live in a little bit more. The last time I tried to do it, it caused a bunch of disasters in a mine, but this isn't a mine exactly, is it?
You're not going to hurt anyone, are you?
Not intentionally. But there's a lot of energy happening. The last time I tried to channel the energy of people at work, I do not think that this was the right kind of energy. I think that this sort of teenage energy, this teen spirit, if you will, I can smell it. Arrange the candles in a certain order. I can channel some of it to myself and bring myself into your world. And that is your infernal master trying to pull a string on you.
Okay.
If you do what they want, you will gain an experience point.
Okay.
If you do not do what they want, you will get a condition.
Gotcha. What do I get out of it?
Power.
You keep saying that, but that's so esoteric, it's not even funny.
I understand, but the dimensions of power are nearly infinite. It's entirely how you decide to wield it. You could become president of the United States someday if that's what you wanted. Internet star. What is it that you kids are into nowadays? You can have nearly anything you want, but this is the first step in many. As the, I believe Confucius maybe said, the journey of 1,000 steps begins with just one. Something along those lines. Was it the Buddha? I don't know. One of them.
I was never into, like, Easterns.
It's philosophy. Philosophy is a certain degree of interest. Listen, you don't think that people become president because of, like, their ability to actually do anything, do you?
So if Trump is any... Sorry.
It's okay. He's a good example, though. And I do appreciate the techniques of his masters. They have manifested themselves in certain ways.
Oh,
I'm sure you've noticed it.
Makes
But you don't have to be a force of evil in this world. You can use these powers to great good if you want. All you have to do is arrange the candles in that certain position and allow me to draw off of this teen energy.
Only a little. This will be a small taste.
I promise I will not hurt them. They'll barely notice anything is gone. You see, when I used the miners, they were at work. They were unhappy. I channeled unhappy energy. It created a disaster. I would be channeling very happy energy now, unless something goes totally wrong with this party. But this party seems to be really underway and
So
filled
far.
with joy and love. So as long as nothing changes that, it should all be fine.
As long as Veronica isn't involved, let's see. Alright. I'll see if I can find a place.
Thank you. You will gain your XP once you've arranged the candles into the pattern that you've seen in your brain.
Sure. So I will, like, find a semi-secluded area so that it doesn't look like I'm doing weird shit in front of everybody.
Sure. Understood. It's like, watch me summon a demon, everybody.
I'm thinking of him as more of like an eldritch being, he's called himself Sheel.
Shield?
Sheel, S-H-E-L-E.
S-H-E-L-E. Got it.
Yes.
I'll make a note of the fact that that's what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
So Shield is asking you to do this for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was it that you took for your moves and your bargains again?
So the moves are obviously the soul debt and can't save myself, and then the bargains are power flows through you and uncanny voices.
Gotcha. Okay, so you can give your dark power a lot of strings. So yeah, it's not bad that they burned through that first one with you.
Yeah. Yes.
Got it. Okay, but you got XP once you do this candle trick.
Yep.
Unfortunately, because you decide to do this in a secluded area, you do not notice the arrival of Veronica.
All right.
Veronica comes tearing into the party like she's the one that started it.
Of course.
How do you want to enter this decrepit pizza place?
Gonna have Fred and George go in front, basically burst through the doors, and then I'm just going to walk in my most awesome party outfit as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of dark, all black, of course. And then Cornelia brings up the rear.
Okay. Cordelia, as usual, is just texting like crazy.
No, of course.
A lot of it is about you. She runs your social media accounts.
Because I don't have time for that.
No, that's a waste of time. It's super boring. Fred does your homework. She runs your social media accounts, you know. George is your shield. And you sweep into the party. Clay, oh my gosh, look who it is. It's Veronica. Maybe you should show off to her.
I absolutely should. So I will. I'm sure if my moves really apply to this, might be a keep your cool or something. I want to find like the people who are dancing and do like exact copies of every dance move they do.
Nice. Let's see. What are your moves that you have again?
Well, I have any
Like-
conditions so far.
Yeah.
The next one is when if I screw this up, I'll get a condition.
Okay. So it's the try netter harder next time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now this
That makes a lot of sense. So, let's have you do a keep your cool to try to be a cool dancer.
All right, sounds good.
If you fail, you get an XP and a condition, and your move goes into effect.
Yeah. All right, so keep
This
your
is so
cool.
weird. It's like you're rolling to fail.
Well, I mean, if I succeed, I'll be happy too, because then I'll have pulled off some sweet dance moves.
Right?
Okay, -1. All right. Well, that's a good news. That's a fail with a 6.
Okay. So you tried desperately to do your show off moves, but for some reason you've decided to do the dance from Michael Jackson's Thriller. and it's a Billie Eilish song playing, it's super awkward. So you're like out there doing this
Mm-hmm.
while it's like, I'm the bad guy in the background. That's as much as I can do of that song. Otherwise, we have to pay for it. At any rate, it's super embarrassing. You can pick up the condition Dorcas Malorcas.
Oh boy. All right. Well, now I got to act like that. Yeah, when people start laughing and calling me the Dorcas Malorcas. What was it again?
Oh, I just, because like everything you learned was from like 80s movies, I want to use like a very 80s term for a dork. So
Oh,
Dorcas
totally.
Malorcas.
I mean, I will take your word for it. I was not there.
I remember Dorcas for sure.
Yeah, there was Dorcas, Dorcas Malorcas. I don't know what Malorcas meant, but you'd hear it.
You
And
add it to Dorcas to make it worse.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
hear the
hear-
Dorcas Malorcas.
Yeah, I don't remember the Dorcas Malorcas, but you know,
I'm sure
Um,
this stuff
I do.
Clay would have picked
I
up.
remember Dorcas.
Yeah.
Oh look, we both have cats that their ears are popping up like just barely into the camera view.
You
I
picked up
love it.
Dorcas
not-
Malorcas.
She's not purring into the microphone anymore, so that's nice.
This one
What do you-
doesn't really purr very loud.
So, Veronica, you see this new kid making a darn fool of himself out on the dance floor.
I'm just going to ignore him and try and get everybody some of my famous jungle juice.
Okay, and once people realize that you're serving hard liquor, they're done with their PBRs and stuff, and they're coming over and they're like, you know how to be popular, Veronica, and that's giving people, drugs, or alcohol in this case.
Oh man, if the crowd is doing it, I'm doing it.
Okay. God, this freaking Dorcas Malorcas trying to be cool drinking the jungle juice. I bet you'd not have ever had jungle juice, dork.
Oh, just wait until he's had just one sip. I'm sure he'll be even more entertainment for us for the evening.
Yeah.
That's not true. I can drink amazing amounts of liquor and various alcoholic beverages and
Prove
still
it.
keep my cool.
I
Prove
can
it.
drink various amounts of liquor. Blah, 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 duh.
Fred,
Yes, exactly. Just like you said.
Fred, the new guy here. He's just agreed to slam 5 red cups of the jungle juice.
Oh, I guess
That's
you
right.
better.
I'm gonna slam all those cups.
Okay. So you're gonna slam 5 cups of the jungle juice.
Yes. All right. And because I'm doing it in a dorky way,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna use my try harder. Or wait, no, I'm gonna use my blank canvas.
Okay.
I'm using this condition to alter my sense of self. So I get to cross it off and add +1 to the roll.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it gives me a +2 because I have the try harder next time.
Yeah.
Or well, do you think this is embodying my Dorcas Malorcas condition?
I mean, it seems like you're trying to get rid of your Dorcas Malorcas condition more than like embody it.
Okay.
Like
So in that
if you fail at this, I'd say you embodied your Dorcas Malorcas condition.
Oh boy. All right. Well, in that case, I'm gonna use the try harder next time to give myself a +1 for this.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what specifically you're trying to roll here. Honestly, I'm gonna treat this as a lash out physically, because you're lashing out physically at yourself. If that makes sense. Like, because drinking this much alcohol when your body isn't quite together could do ridiculous amounts of harms to yourself, and you're being super volatile, even if you don't understand that.
Sounds good. Okay, my volatile is a +2, and with the +1, it's a +3.
Okay. Such a weird situation.
That is a total of 11.
Okay. Yeah, you've managed to like just down this. Boom. Let's see. So you get to choose one. Do you want to say that you've learned something about your true nature? Or do you want to say that somehow I will give you the opportunity of purposely triggering your darkest self, if you would like?
Okay, maybe it's like I trigger the darkest self because I realized that actually the alcohol has zero effect. It's just like clay in there.
Okay.
I'm just pouring booze into a container. There's nothing to absorb it, so I cannot get drunk. It's just like liquid.
So what is your darkest self, Michael?
Your body is a prison. You don't belong inside of it. You need to put it in harm's way and make it suffer, just like it's made you suffer. There's got to be a way to cut yourself out of it. You need to meet your makers and hold them accountable for what they've done to you. To escape your darkest self, you must come to see how someone else feels more trapped than you do.
Nice. So you have managed to put yourself into an existential crisis.
I know. I'll be like, what? I chugged. People said chug, 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 and yet nothing fun happened.
You have removed the Dorcas Malorcas condition because you just chugged 5 things of jungle juice and had no adverse reaction whatsoever. And so people now think you are a party god. And you are raised on the shoulders of various partiers, and they're like, party god, party god. And at that point, the ceremony is complete for the candles. And the room where you were doing this blows open. Like the door just blows off. And a figure steps out of the room and goes, he is not the party god, for I am the god of parties. And you all shall suffer. That's where we're going to leave this one off.
That's the perfect ending.
Oh shit, what have I done?
Ooh, cliffhangers!
So, tune in next week for part 2 of I Was a Teenage Monsterhearts,
The party god.
where the party god has arisen.
Oh god. Woo!
Might it be called Smells Like Teen Spirits? Probably.
Whoa. Kat, that was amazing.
Thank you. I
Yes,
hope you
it
all
was
had
so
fun.
much fun. I enjoyed bringing out my inner mean girl. I was never a mean girl in high school, I swear to God.
Originally, I thought that it was going to be Veronica's energy funneling this thing, but then when Michael had like the chug 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 and like had no adverse reaction, and everybody thinks he's a party god now, I'm
And
like,
see, I was not
Obvious.
expecting that.
yeah, obviously
great.
that's going to bring up the party god. That was a little twist there for y'all.
Oh jeez.
So instead of it being this horrible Mean Girls monsters, you have brought the party god into this earth. What have you done? What have you done?
That's gonna be good, dude.
I don't
I'm
think this is what Damien was expecting either.
No.
Like, that's the great thing about a game like Monsterhearts is it is a conversation, and wherever the conversation leads is where it leads. So it's like you have to do so much improv, but it's like so rewarding when it's like, oh, I know how this all ties together right now. You've brought the party god into this world.
well. The cool thing is we have a whole nother episode of the party god being in this world.
I'm looking forward to
Holy
it.
crap!
Oh yes.
Let's keep this going, guys, because this is amazing. So, thanks, guys. Seriously, Kat, thanks for doing this yet again, running one of these adventures that just takes us into the mind of, well, not all the way into your mind, thank goodness, but at least
We
gives
went
us a
there on one
taste.
show, we'll never do it again.
Yeah, it'll give us a little taste of what's in there. And thank you so much, Kelso, for being here. Christina, thanks for revisiting and hang out with Time to Tabletop again. As again, you're always invited, super open invite to be in anything that we do. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night, and then we will see everyone next Tuesday. But as we always do, we always say, until then, pull up a chair and make
Make
time
time
to tabletop. All right, guys.
Do it,
We need to
mortals.
work on our coordination there.
No, it's better when
It's fine.
it's all over the place. That's the key,
Happens.
because we're all
Exactly.
crazy. All right. See you soon, everyone.